Divrei-Hayamim Bet, Chapter 23. In the 7th year, Jehoiada took courage and formed a conspiracy with certain captains of 100-man platoons. Azariah, the son of Yeroham, Yishmael, the son of Yehohanan, Azariah, the son of Oved, Maasayahu, the son of Adayahu, and Elishaphat, the son of Zichri. They canvassed Yehuda and gathered the Leviim from all the cities of Yehuda, together with the clan heads of Israel, and came to Jerusalem. The whole assembly made an agreement with the king in the house of God. Jehoiada addressed them. "Hear, the king's son will reign, as Adonai said in regard to the descendants of David. Here is what you are to do. Of you Kohanim and Leviim, who come on duty on Shabbat, a third are to guard the gates, a third the royal palace, and a third the gate of the foundation, while all the people are to remain in the courtyards of the house of Adonai. No one is to enter the house of Adonai except the Kohanim and those Leviim who are actually performing the service. These may enter, because they are holy, but all the people are to observe Adonai's order. The Leviim are to surround the king, each man with his weapons in his hand. Anyone who enters the house is to be killed. Stay with the king whenever he enters or leaves." The Leviim and all Yehuda did exactly as Jehoiada the Cohen ordered. Each took his men, those coming on duty on Shabbat, and those going off duty on Shabbat, for Jehoiada the Cohen did not dismiss the divisions. Jehoiada the Cohen issued to the captains of hundreds the spears and the large and small shields that had been King David's, and were kept in the house of God. He then positioned all the people, each man with his weapon in his hand, from the right side of the house to the left side of the house, alongside the altar, alongside the exterior of the house, and around the king. Then they brought out the king's son, crowned him, gave him a copy of the testimony, and thus made him king. Jehoiada and his sons anointed him, and they shouted, "Long live the king!" When Atalyah heard the sound of the people running and praising the king, she entered the house of Adonai, where the people were, looked and saw the king standing there on his platform at the entrance, with the leaders and trumpeters next to the king. All the people of the land were celebrating and blowing the trumpets, while the singers with their musical instruments were leading songs of praise. At this, Atalyah tore her clothes and cried, "Treason! Treason!" Jehoiada the Cohen brought out the captains of hundreds, who were in charge of the army, and said to them, "Escort her out past the ranks of guards, but anyone who follows her, let him be put to the sword." For the Cohen had said, "Do not put her to death in the house of Adonai." So they took her by force and led her by the horses' entry to the king's palace, and there they put her to death. Jehoiada made a covenant between himself, all the people, and the king, that they would be Adonai's people. Then all the people went to the house of Baal and broke it down. They smashed his altars and images and killed Mattan, the priest of Baal, in front of the altars. Jehoiada appointed officers for the house of Adonai, under the supervision of the Kohanim and Leviim, whom David had assigned turns of duty in the house of Adonai, to offer the burnt offerings of Adonai as written in the Torah of Moshe, with rejoicing and singing in keeping with David's orders. He stationed guards at the gates of the house of Adonai, so that no one who was unclean in any respect could enter. He took the captains of hundreds, the men of rank, the rulers of the people, and all the people of the land, and they brought the king down from the house of Adonai, going through the upper gate to the royal palace, and seated the king on the royal throne. All the people of the land celebrated, and at last the city was quiet. That is how they killed Atalyah with the sword.